who can detect and can diffuse the IED, explosive devices,
right,
which is lacking in their case. As Mr. Sidhu said, that they have not been able to train, educate people. A lot of people, ex-servicemen, because they retire young, would be tempted to join, would definitely join this, and they are paying so well.
Yeah, you just use the word tempted. So Brigadier Sharma, high remuneration is what is being handed over to the ex-servicemen who joined the CRPF. Now, won't it lead to a problem in the army? I mean, after all, they too work in similar conditions and, you know, they carry on similar tasks.
Not exactly, because this is a short-term measure. They're going to be paid, say, 50,000 rupees or so for per month, you know. But it doesn't include the benefits of the insurance.
Okay.
The infantry, the army man, when he is operating in Valley, he has a benefit of army group insurance, which is a very heavy amount, you know, varying from 5 to 7 lakhs. You know. I don't think the CRPF is going to pay them for that, the insurance. It is only 50,000 rupees.
It's only the collective salary bit.
For 6 months. And I'm sure within 6 months or so, the CRPF will have their own cadre trained, will take on the training of their own people, you know, and they will be able to handle these things. This is a short-term measure, and it's a welcome measure. At least 2,000 people will find retired people, disciplined people who are trained in diffusing mines.
Nothing like that if it benefits the force.
It will.
Right, absolutely. Mr. Sidhu, should the CRPF be happier working under the state or under the centre?
As per the SOP issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs, state can requisition the central paramilitary forces in aid to the state where law and order has collapsed. So, though the CRPF has to work in total and close coordination with the state administration and the police, but the controls remains with the state government. So, there is no question of being happier and not happier.
Right.
It is a question of doing a duty. Being a paramilitary force, wherever the CRPF is deployed, they work in close tandem and coordination with the state police. They discuss and coordinate deployment. They discuss and coordinate various operations. So CRPF is already extensively deployed throughout the country. Now this is a new challenge. The next slide problem is a new challenge, which CRPF suffered greater losses in the past about 6-7 years. We have lost about 400 men only in Chhattisgarh. So there is a thought to induct ex-servicemen to train our personnel in detecting, diffusing explosive mines through various techniques.
Right, Mr. Sidhu. We'll move on to another story. The Armed Forces Special Powers Act is 53 years old now. It's a piece of legislation that's been strongly opposed, and in Imphal, residents took out a silent demonstration. They also expressed solidarity with the AFSPA's most visible opponent, Irom Sharmila. Irom Sharmila has gained iconic status, but Manipur's Iron Lady remains on an indefinite fast even after a decade. And her demand for repealing the Armed Forces Special Powers Act remains just that, an unfulfilled demand. Imphal saw hundreds of people staging a silent rally on the 53rd anniversary of the President's assent to the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. The Act gives uniformed forces arbitrary powers to nab suspects and even fire at them while enjoying immunity from prosecution. Enacted in 1958, it empowers defense personnel in disturbed areas such as Manipur and Kashmir to search premises and arrest people without warrants and to shoot to kill if they feel the situation requires it. This act has triggered massive debates and accusations of human rights abuse against successive governments. The silent march was flagged off from Irom Sharmila's office and passed through the hospital where Sharmila has been held in isolation on charges of attempt to commit suicide. However, the security personnel did not allow the protesting sympathizers to meet her. Irom launched her fast in November 2000, protesting against the killing of 10 civilians allegedly by personnel of the Assam Rifles. She has been repeatedly arrested and released on charges of attempt to suicide under Section 309 of the Indian Penal Code. She is forcibly fed through a feeding tube in her nose, much against her wishes. Bureau Report, Day and Night News. Brigadier Sharma, is it time that the AFSPA should be withdrawn?
To begin with, I have full sympathy with Sharmila, but I would like to submit the Armed Forces Special Power Act, when it was framed, it was to deal with extraordinary situation, particularly wherever the states took to secession from the Indian Union. You take Assam, Manipur, Arunachal, or even in J&K. Now, extraordinary situations required extraordinary measures. Just because the police, state police, the armed police, the CRPF, they have failed to use army, sans AFSPA is like using, again, increasing number of battalions, but using them as a police force. If you are going to use them for an extraordinary situation, that individual who is going to act should be armed with special powers. And secondly is, it is a state government, it's a central government which declares an area disturbed area. After it has been declared, then army is called for. An army is called for not to act like a police force or a armed police because it has failed. It has to act in a special way.
Absolutely.
It has to be empowered with special powers.
Right, right.
And what are those powers? Those are shoot, arrest and search. Even in normal aid to civil authorities, when we carry out, a NAC, when he is around, he and the absence of a magistrate can order his men to shoot. The same thing applies in case of AFSPA. The only powers which he has is search and arrest. Search. He searches area wherever he has a suspicion that there is a ammunition dump, arm dump, or there is a fortified shelter which can be used against the security forces. He goes there and destroys.
Actually, we have very little time. We have to go into the break.
Okay,
but my question, next question to you is, should the AFSPA be applied only to the disturbed areas? I mean, partially enforced, and not in the whole
we have
state.
discussed it at length earlier. Within our army, they have been war gamed. Now, I'll give an example in J&K because I have operated in J&K. Jammu region, the problem is in Kashmir Valley only. Jammu region, it doesn't get much affected, leaving aside Doda and Kishtwar. If you say a particular area is disturbed area and particular area is undisturbed, then there will be a game of hide and seek. Whenever security forces employs pressure in a particular disturbed area,
Right.
these fellows will sneak into undisturbed area. So this hide and seek game cannot go in counterinsurgency operations.
Okay.
Now, secondly, the next point is,
We have to make it quick, sir.
next point is,
Yeah.
have the militants, the role of the army or the role of the security forces is to force the terrorists or militants to come to negotiating table. Have they asked for ceasefire? Are they coming for negotiation? So why should we take an initiative? Has the situation improved to such an extent? The situation has become normal. If
Right.
it has become normal, withdraw army. Why withdraw FSP? Withdraw army.
Right.
Let the local policing take place.
Punjab and Haryana High Court today dismissed an application filed by the Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee seeking prosecution of senior advocate Harbhagwan Singh in the Sahesari case controversy. A full bench also deferred the hearing on the Union government petition seeking recall of the court's September 1 orders. Meanwhile, the special leave petition filed by the Sahesari Sikh Federation seeking vacation of the stay granted by the bench on September 1st orders has been listed before the Supreme Court on Wednesday. Now, Mr. Jaga, is it a good decision?
You see, the matter is still at the thrashing stage, and being a very sensitive matter and pending before the Honorable Apex Court for certain adjudication on the matter, I think the best thing will be to wait for the directions or the observations of the Supreme Court in the matter. So I don't think it is appropriate to make a comment on this issue right now because matter is well poised before the Honorable Supreme Court. So I would not like to make a comment right away.
So, I mean, it's premature as the court has held?
No, I cannot say the court has acted in best of its wisdom, as always the Honorable Court acts like that, because these are the things, whether he was appointed, whether he was not appointed, whether he has withdrawn on his own or whether the government has taken a backtrack, all these matters are before the Apex Court, and that is why they are going to thrash the matter. I think they are going to take whatever is best on the situations around it, and there should be no speculation on this since the matter is before the apex court.
See, the matter has been posted for further hearing on September 20th. This means elections without Sehsdari votes, as elections will be held on 18th September. So is this right interpretation?
I'm sure the courts are going to take best view on this, and whatever they say will be the final outcome. In fact, wherever the problem of interpretations are coming, whether it is matter of Sehsdari or of any other issue, the best forum to interpret the issue are the courts, High Court and the Apex Court, and that is being done right now, and very seriously is being done and being taken by both the sides. So I think certainly something, whatever will come, it will be the best possible for the people of the state, and I'm sure we should wait till the order of the Apex Court on this issue.
Right. So, I mean, let me put it this way. Do you think that the SGPC elections could be derailed?
I don't think so much, because certainly both the sides are, putting the best of their efforts to get the best interpretations from the courts. Both have hired very good lawyers, both are putting their best foot forward, and the judges are certainly the best guys to take a decision on the matter, and I am sure it is not going to be derailed, but certainly something good will come out of it.
Right, we'll move on to the next story here. Accusing the government of lying and misleading people, Team Anna has demanded scrapping of the Judicial Standards and Accountability Bill. Alternatively, they demanded that the judiciary be brought under the Lokpal, their original demand.
Team Anna is livid again, this time with a draft of Judicial Standards and Accountability Bill 2010. It feels the bill has no provision for investigation of corrupt judges or their prosecution. Wants judiciary to be brought under the ambit of the Lokpal bill.
But now that is not happening, and if they now say, no, now we will scrap this bill, bring another bill, etc., we don't know when that bill will come, what kind of body will be there, when it will be constituted. Therefore, we revert back to our original position that the judiciary must remain within the investigative ambit of the Lokpal.